The bright lights, the gorgeous, beautiful winters, the grid, the city life, the theaters, the plays, the lavish restaurants, the nightlife. What am I talking about? Well, I was talking about what was known as past Toronto. Toronto. I grew up there as a child. I saw the writing on the wall at a young age, and I ventured. I lived in Mexico for 2 years. Then I lived in Miami for 5 years. I wanted to live anywhere else but Toronto. Why? Well, it was getting too expensive. It was getting way too expensive, and it was getting ruder. Well, welcome to a special edition of Escape Toronto. Guys, don't forget to share this out there, get this out there. My channel, unfortunately, here it is, guys. It's been shadow banned. If you're looking for a video on my channel, go to the little magnifying glass here, and you'll find all kinds of my videos. Videos that I made that are being reproduced by bigger channels, unfortunately, that don't plug the little guy. So plug me, guys. Get me out there. Well, I want to start today by saying, for Escape Toronto, Toronto Stories. Now, this is from today. That's from today. September single-family home sales rise 283% from last year. Unless people in Toronto got a huge spike in pay, but for housing to go where it's at right now, the average benchmark is still in and around $1 million. And we're not just talking about Toronto, we're talking about the secondary and the Tri-Cities. We're talking about secondary cities like Oakville, Brampton, Mississauga, Richmond Hill, Thornhill is still completely out of reach for the average wage earner. Heck, even the tech wage earners that are supposed to be making these crazy, phenomenal incomes are struggling to get by. And there's 8 or 9 people to a one-bedroom apartment. Woo! Well, single-family home sales rise 283% from last year. The Atlas Group of Building Industry Land Development Associations, BUILD, official source for the new homes market intelligence, says that September sales were up 73% from September 2018, with over 3,061 homes sold. September transactions represent 6% above the 10-year average of overall home sales. So we don't need to go into those statistics. Let's go into what the average. Here it is. Benchmark price of single homes actually fell to $1,181,000, down 3.4% from last year, as condo prices increased to $841,000, not pesos, 841,000 Canadian dollars. That's $766,000 US. And don't make me go show you what you could buy for 140 grand US. With 20 acres of land and a 3-bedroom house. Don't make me show you, okay? Because then we're going to get into another topic here. And that's $841,000 for a condo. And then you got the mafia strata fees. Then you got all the Mickey Mousing involved too. And then the strata fees, when there's a leak or something, they up your strata and get you to pay more to cover some sort of a problem that was there from the builder originally, that the builder has already gone bankrupt or changed his name, so he's not liable for anything. While new home sales and inventory have been increasing, the GTA continues to experience a significant housing supply crunch, says David Wilkes, BUILD president and CEO. We must continue to focus on the supply side of the housing equation to address the generational challenge for long term. Generational challenge? Well, what's happening with the generational challenge? Well, here it is. A very strong case for moving the hell out of Toronto. Oh, yeah. Pack your bags and go. This morning, somebody told me that if I can't afford to live in my own country, that I should pack my bags and move back to the country of origin because I am no longer welcome here. Well, after my dad, God bless his soul, who passed away several months ago, basically gave his life to building the infrastructure in this country, Portuguese immigrant. And kind of, strange that's basically we're no longer needed here anymore. But it is what it is. I mean, it's not our country, right? I'm just an immigrant here, right? The very strong case for moving the hell out of Toronto, with rent prices skyrocketing. Ever guys see how a rocket takes off? Well, that's what's happening. And telecommuting becoming more common, many young people are finding a better life in smaller places. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's what people are going to be doing. People are going to start to find out what life's about by getting out. If you're not living a perpetual with perpetual roommates or pulling in six figures, grinding away to barely pay the rent in Toronto or Vancouver is likely your new normal. With the average cost of a one-bedroom in Toronto hitting $2,260 last year, according to rental site PadMapper. Income can be quickly swallowed up by housing costs. So when you're paying more than 27% of your income towards overhead, that's just rent. We're not talking about hydro, electricity, all these other things. We're talking about just flipping the bill, just the basic necessity of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We covered Maslow's hierarchy of needs on Mike in the Night. Join me for Mike in the Night live show where you could call in and tell us what's going on your neck of the woods. Mike in the Night, and we discussed the whole Maslow's hierarchy of needs and wants. People need shelter. People need food and water. People don't want the Ferrari and the Lamborghini. People would want one if their income was better, or if they lived better. If they're making six figures, 20 years ago, you make six figures, you're living the high life. But in today's world, you're making six figures, you're just getting by. Woo! Okay, let's keep going here. Since moving back to Northern Ontario, he has fitted out his new church with the heating system of his own invention, allowing him to heat the place using discarded vegetable oil. So people are going out and innovating. Because living here is so cheap, I just keep making it cheaper. It allows me to experiment with making more money and have less stress about it. I've worked as hard as reducing my expenses I have by increasing my income. There you go. I don't need $1,800 a month for rent anymore. Who cares? Look at that. That's a nice, what is that, a lamb, a sheep, a goat? And just people moving out. Young couples, millennials, trendies, moving out, starting families, growing their own crops, and getting back to the land, right? Now let's move over. Look at this. Looking through this. Goodbye, Toronto. Hello, Winnipeg. They're going to say hello to the Raven. He lives there. My friend Raven lives in Winnipeg. And are Canada's young giving up their big city's dreams? So Daniel Maskoschovich had always wanted to leave his hometown had always wanted to leave his hometown of Winnipeg for greener pastures. For a while he did, moving to Vancouver in 2008 when he was 24 and living in Tel Aviv for 6 years and returning to Vancouver 2 years ago where he hoped to finally build a family and a career. Now he's 33 years old, an entrepreneur, started thinking more about settling down, though he had trouble figuring out how to make Canada's most expensive city work. He was sharing a 2-bedroom, 800 square foot condo. 800 square foot condo, 2-bedroom means one closet has been converted in Vancouver. Like my house here, I bought it for $260,000 in Merritt with the down payment I saved in Vancouver. I live 2.5 hours out of the city. Now, if I was to do the single mattress test, in Vancouver, they take a single mattress and they fit it in every room. If a mattress fits in that room, that's a bedroom. So I got a closet here that could fit a single bedroom. I got a bathroom there that could fit a single mattress. I got probably 32 rooms in this house that could fit a single mattress. So technically, this is a 32 bedroom home. Technically, if you go by Vancouver standards, right? So basically, he paid $1,300 a month in his share for, wow, look at that. And he moved out and said, I am done with this. The city is growing at the wrong rate. in the wrong angles, and it's trying to it's time to move out, because when things are going in the wrong direction, but your wages, millennials leaving Toronto and Vancouver. Statistics Canada data shows. So this is an older one because it's from 2018, and StatsCan is probably showing here. So Toronto seeing an inter-provincial migration numbers plummet, and that's bad. From 2012 to 2017, the net inter-provincial migrant was minus 142,000, 77.53% larger loss than the period time before. It means 142,000 more people left Toronto for other parts of the province than Toronto attracted. So what is Toronto doing to fill the void? Well, they're bringing in more people to fill the void from other countries. Not Europe, though, because if you're from Europe, except France, it's very hard to get into Canada. Lower Mainland, including Vancouver, loses 18,000 people to their parts of BC. So again, Lower Mainland, the densely populated parts of British Columbia, is doing better than Toronto, but still great. From 2012 to 2017, the region saw a net migration of 18,670 people. That was whites and Aboriginals that left. The article is here by Douglas Todd. So just so you know, I'm not making crap up. It's opening new tab fresh, so you see I'm not trying to doctor anything here. There we go, whites. There we go, whites leaving Vancouver. There it is. And those numbers add up to what it's saying here. Whites and Aboriginals leaving Vancouver. So they kind of leave out who is leaving. So that's 9,345, and that was in 2017. And then 2018 was... Where'd it go? Hold on. I think it was 18,670. So the numbers are growing of people mass exiting the city of Vancouver. I'm one of those statistics, guys. I left 3 years ago. I decided not to pay $2.2 million for a house built in 1910 that needs about $800,000 in renovation. That's what it would cost here in Canada, though. So if you're watching this in the States, that's just how it is in Canada. So I could buy the same house in West Palm Beach, Florida, that they're selling in Vancouver for under $50,000. That was built in 1910, 11. I'd buy the same house for like $50,000 in West Palm Beach. I don't need to deal with that. So I'm not putting myself in that position, right? And here it is, guys. A third of Toronto's young adults live with their parents. Here's how Bloor Street compares to the Bridle Path and more. So there's more and more young kids living with their parents in 30s and moving into their 40s. And what's happening? A lot of boomerang returns. When I was 19 years old, before I left the nest, you know how many people told me, Mike, you still live with your parents? You're 19, dude. Well, my parents love me. We're European. I mean, I don't... We love each other. We don't care. Mike, you're 19. What the heck is wrong with you? How? And everyone's joking about me. Mike is 19. He's going to be 20 in March. And he's still living with his parents. And yeah, that was a huge deal. You know, because a lot of people in high school, in grade 11, grade 10, 11, were working part-time, okay, after school. I had their own place, their own food, their own TV. They go home, watch television, watch music, and hang out, order pizza, things like that. And then I was still living with my parents till I pretty much not only finished high school, till I was pretty much almost 20. Then I just moved to Mexico for 2 years. But Guerrero, Mexico. And yeah, I kind of enjoyed life there and understood the more of the because you know I wanted to be part of a society that was more family oriented, drawn or family oriented, more of a family orientation, right? So, anyways, young people in Canada's largest cities miserable because of expensive housing. Yeah, people are more and more suicide rates are going up. People splurging on credit cards, thinking it's going to feel better when they buy more stuff. It's not working, people. It's not working. It is not making it better. You know what I'm saying? And with a lot of people that bought into the whole student loan scam, that bought into that, are in a lot of trouble now, because now they're in a position where they're starting to see that the whole job thing that they were promised. And I've had a lot of friends on Facebook unfriend me because I was kind of the Portuguese at the back of the class that no one paid attention to, and basically was going to go nowhere. I've gone somewhere in life, and now they don't want to hear about it. They don't want to hear from me, and they don't have time. You know what I'm saying? To make time for other friends, you know? Expensive housing is making young people in Canada's two largest cities miserable. Most young people in Vancouver describe the experience of housing and commuting in the city as uncomfortable, even miserable, according to a poll released Monday by the Angus Rees Institute. These findings are based on a pain index that organizations created in 2015 when it released a housing report on Metro Vancouver. The index was developed to measure how well residents were coping with the city's living conditions and divides respondents into four categories: happy, comfortable, uncomfortable, and miserable. And in Vancouver, the percentage of people who responded positively, on the other hand, happy or comfortable, or negatively, on the other hand, uncomfortably miserable, and pretty much even split the 2018 poll. But there was clear tendency for older people to fall into a positive category, for young people to fall into a negative one. And old people, we're talking about like people like 45 and older, right? So while 55%, 55 plus who reported, 65% who stated they were happy at age 55 plus. Why? Well, because a lot of them bought at the right time. A lot of them bought at the everything. They got their careers at the right time. None of them are retiring. So it's making it harder for younger people to kind of advance or move in positions of greater expectations within their careers. But unfortunately, it's not happening. And this is from August 27, 2018. It hasn't got better since then, so don't worry if I'm reading an older article. I wanted to bring this up, guys, because this is a mass pandemic, or I don't know how to put it. Comment below if you know how I should put this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Escape Toronto, escape Vancouver. Heck, I'm going to call this Escape Toronto. I'm going to put I don't know how I'm going to do the image for this one, but I kind of really want you guys to really take this one seriously. If you can, before, my videos get all, like, people are asking me, Mike, why don't you cover this? I've covered it. Look, Australia's rip-off housing. Is foreign buyers tax discriminatory? Hospital discharges elderly man. Threatens to discharge man to homeless shelter. Is Sydney, Australia sadder, meaner, angrier? Ford layoffs in Oakville, Ontario. Vancouver is the unhappiest city in Canada. Toronto is the most unhappiest city in Canada. You guys vote. I created a poll for this. Secession, Alberta must leave. Canadian housing ripoff. Australians ban 10K cash. Guys, if you're Canada and the UK and New Zealand, you want to watch this one. Our channel's at war over climate change. Gold and silver investing. I do a lot of stuff. It's here. 5,000 videos I did for you guys. But because my channel's shadow banned, they don't want me out there. So if you guys want to support this transmission, just share one of my videos. I'm not asking you to change water into wine. I'm just asking that all of us get an equal chance to be heard. I love you guys so much. Thanks for supporting me on Patreon and sending me a tip in my PayPal tip jar up here, and my Patreon supporters that donate minimum $1 a month to the channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Big hug. Lots of love. And share a video.